Hey, welcome back to Quelmar, everyone. We are back again with another session of Just the Q of Us, our Buddy Cop anthology series, in which we take stories from across Quelmar's 10-year-long history and we find the intersection points where it's possible that these stories crossed over. If you like crossover specials, if you were a big fan of the Marvel versus DC comic books where Batman and Spider-Man beat each other up, this is just like that. Except cooler, even cooler than Batman and Spider-Man, because we have two of the coolest cats in the house here today. We are doing our first and only space crossover between two of Quelmar's space campaigns. One was held many years ago, called Space Donuts, or Quelmar Goes to Space, and the other just happened last year when we had our very first Aliens RPG campaign, and we introduced the xenomorphs into Quelmar lore and history. Not to say that we'll see any aliens here today, but it is an aliens crossover game, so that'd be a shame if we didn't. We are going to go ahead and introduce our wonderful players here. I'm going to start over here on the left side of your screen where you'll see Cecilia. Cecilia, if you could just introduce yourself and maybe talk about how long you've been with Quelmar, and then tell us a little bit about Jay.
Yeah. So my name's Cecilia Lindgren, she, her pronouns. I think I've been playing in Quelmar. I've been watching Quelmar since 2020. I think I had my first Quelmar game with secondary characters. I think that was 2021, but I'm
I
not
think so. I
entirely
think
sure.
is secondary characters, yes, because that would have been after Paranoia, so 2021. Early
Yes, yeah,
2021, almost 2020.
before the first Quelmar con. Um,
Yes.
and oh my gosh, what else am I supposed to say? My character is
Yeah.
is Jay. She's a robot who also has a void that's like living inside of her as well, that she's constantly fighting against to try and not let out because it just wants to consume the universe.
Yeah.
So she's working hard to do that.
Yeah.
And her pronouns are she, her. Um,
Yeah, I think there
I
is
think that's
truly a void inside of all of us that we are always constantly fighting. Um,
Oh wow, that went deep.
Over on your right side of your screen, we have Julia. They are going to go ahead and tell us about themselves and what they've done with Quelmar. And I think Julia is also a sitting board member. Ooh. As well as introduce Nyx.
Yes, hi, I'm Julia. I started playing with Quelmar back in 2022, I think January of 2022, with Greedy Green. And then I played through Greedy Green, and I have joined so many campaigns after that point. um, I am, yes, as James said, I am on my second year of being a board member for the nonprofit side of everything Quelmar does. And yeah, I've been around the community. I've done a couple different things. Nyx, however, is a lance corporal of the United Military something, the UMS. United Military Services, that's what it's called. She was the leader of her squad, and she is the resident xenomorph and other type of weird alien creature expert. You often see her with her two guns, a flamethrower named Diplomacy and an air pistol filled with biotoxins called Negotiations.
And
And
we're
she
going to
is here to
see.
hunt some bugs.
I was going to say we're gonna definitely see Nyx in action today. Let me go ahead and actually let's run the intro sequence first, and then we'll get right into things. And I'll set up the board. Here we go. Welcome, Nyx. On a small side hustle between investigating areas of high tension and danger and SOS signals and all that comes with your job, you find yourself having been intrigued by a signal that was sent out from a nearby asteroid. Now, not very often do you find yourself checking out smaller planetary bodies like this. I know you've been to a couple of different stations or planets, investigated things on larger scales. So when you saw something was coming from an asteroid, and that it seemed, based on the corrupted data of the signal, like a cry for help, you took your let's give Nyx some sort of vessel to have arrived here. When Nyx is just traveling on their own, what do they have available to them?
Whatever the military will give them, really.
Whatever the military will give them.
So probably like a small little shuttlecraft of some sort that the military's like, yeah, we don't need this right now. It's a rust bucket, but it'll get you to and from places. There you go.
Excellent. Great. We'll give you a little shuttle vehicle. I'll drive in over here. Here we go. So we've got you and your shuttle. When you arrive, there are a couple things you notice. The first is that it appears that a small station has been set up on the asteroid. What you can only imagine is probably a mine. When it comes to asteroids and capitalism in space, the reason why most people would ever set anything up on an asteroid is to mine it. Asteroids tend to be full of all sorts of precious metals, some of them very common on terrestrial planets, and some of them unique and only found where the elements have crashed and collided in the void. The other thing you notice is that when you arrive, you may not be the only one who picked up the signal, as another small, maybe two-person station appears to be in orbit. It's, even though it seems like it's a full station, not just like a shuttle, it's hardly any bigger than your own shuttle ship. According to the panels you've pulled up on the main frame in your ship, and you're scanning the area, this appears to have been designated as asteroid 357. I'm going to start today's game with a simple roll to lay the groundwork to see what we know about asteroid 357, and that is going to be a roll known as technopathy, which we haven't seen a ton of in the this anthology yet. The question is, Julia, do you have any technopathy?
Nope.
Excellent. That's great. You're a shooter, you're a fighter, you're not necessarily the tech person. You probably had people on your team who handled that stuff.
Yeah.
So, you're trying to figure out what you can pull up, and you're not typically doing the scans and figuring out the systems. So, in this game of Atris, whenever I ask you to roll something that you did not pick out, you don't have the skills for, you are going to make what's called a luck roll. And a luck roll is very simple. You roll 2d6, and you pray you get doubles. Okay. If you get doubles,
Great.
You succeed. If you don't get doubles, you didn't.
I did not succeed.
Yeah, you swipe around things, and you wind up zooming in on something really large, and you can't figure out how to zoom back out, and it's getting a little frustrating. You're not sure. So the most you can pull up about this asteroid is that it does seem to have been home to a Wayland Yutani mine. So they obviously are a very large, famous capitalist group that organized a lot of stuff in space. And this did seem to belong to them, just based on some old copyright information that gets pulled up real quick. You try to scan for life forms, but you're not sure where the button is. You wind up scanning for elk, which comes up 0. So you're pretty sure there's 0 elk on this asteroid. But yeah, so unfortunately, to your best extent, you can't figure out if there are survivors, or even what may have happened here. I'll give you one more thing, which is that the mines seem to go into there is a small mining station just outside of that main station. I'll mark it here. There is a little mine right there on the outside. And that's probably, you can imagine, just based on your own experience and the preliminary readings, that's probably where the actual caverns or chasms to go into the mines are. So you've got like the living station where people actually live and breathe and work, and it's probably a med bay, all of the usual stuff there. And then there's the mine. What do you do?
And I don't pick up anything on like radio chatter. There's no, other than the one distress call that I've gotten, there's no like outgoing or ingoing, just normal basic chatter or anything like that.
Yeah, unfortunately,
from either the space station or the mine.
I'm just going to see if there is any other sort of signal that's being broadcast besides that original blast. No, unfortunately, and this could be a good or a bad thing, but it looks like all channels are eerily silent, it says.
Okay. I would then land my shuttlecraft down on the surface of the asteroid and head in to the little station where I know the living quarters of the mine would be.
Excellent. So I'm going to take us in. Make it real board here. Jay, as you feel your surroundings come back into view, I'm curious, does Jay have any sort of like reboot up sequence where like the surrounding area like re-renders into frame, or is Jay at this point done enough biological changes that it is very similar to just waking up?
Yeah, I think it would be very similar to waking up at this point.
Excellent. So in that case, it's less of a boot up sequence and more of a just like you wake up, you can feel stone under your hands, and as your eyes adjust to the terrifying darkness of the space around you, you hear footsteps of somebody who is probably approaching. When you look up, I'll do this one. And we can get you guys actually on the board now. Just so you know, Nix, because this is an asteroid and not a terrestrial planet, you will have needed to equip a suit, a pretty standard issue suit, so that at least for this surface, you have, so keep that in mind. And as you keep that in mind, I want you to describe to the sort of waking up, fallen over creature who is just sort of scrambling up on her arms and legs again. What does she see as you approach?
So it's kind of hard to make out because, again, we are in space and Nyx is wearing a suit. She's, for what you know humans to be, she's on the shorter side, a little over 5 foot tall, and wearing standard issue military. You see the crest of the UMS on one of the sleeves to designate that, yes, she is a military official. And she's holding a contraption in her hand that has, it's a little handheld, almost like, looks like a mirror at first, and has a glowing green screen, and you just hear boop, 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 as she comes closer, and as you start moving around.
Meanwhile,
and as she gets closer, you see through. Oh, I'm sorry, James.
No, go ahead. If you have something else, as you're getting to like
as you get closer and you see, like through the visor, darker tannish skin, blackish hair, blue eyes.
Meanwhile, Nyx, as the creature comes into view, Jay, give us a description of what Nyx might be seeing from the shoulders up. I don't want you to describe anything below the shoulders yet.
Okay. I think shoulders up, you see she is blue metallic. She is just blue metal. You can see that she has some features that look like a human feature, but her eyes are dark black, and you can kind of see like not like a normal black. Like if you stare into it, you are falling into a black hole kind of a blackness. And she has like no hair fully. She's just fully metal. And yeah, I think shoulders up. That's the best description.
And before you can see if this is what kind of model this android may be, or what, is this maybe a cyborg? Is this really just like a person with a lot of augmentations? Your eyes sort of trail down the creature, but immediately stop because you stare dead center, right at the sternum of this creature's chest. Nyx is a gaping hole. And you yourself, Jay, are only now just still also kind of coming to realize, like getting a hold of yourself. When you look down, there is a little bit of exposed wire or a biomechanic fluid that has sort of leached down as a hole, probably about this big, is located right in your chest. And you try to rack your brain about what happened and how you got here, and you're gonna have to make a check to see what you remember. I'll give you an option because you are a android of sorts. Usually I would call for something like predisposed, which is like the flashback memory history check. But as a robot, I would probably also allow a technopathy check if you have it, to sort of just access your own memories in a less organic fashion.
Awesome.
Like
yes, I have
bank.
technopathy.
Okay, excellent. So in that case, let's see if you can sort of rewind the clock here and access whatever sort of memory record you have of what's been going on. So in Atris, you're going to start all checks at 3d6. That's a moderate check. Okay. So if I ever ask you to just do a roll, and I'll do this frequently today, I'll just be like, hey, make an agility check. Hey, make a might check. Hey, make a technopathy check. Start with 3d6. If it's harder, I'll tell you. If it's easier, I'll tell you. And your goal then, Cecilia, is to get, what number is your technopathy on your sheet? You might have one or more.
3.
3. So you're going to be aiming to roll a single 3, and that's a success. You get 1 3 on these dice. So let's go ahead and make our memory bank check.
Okay, I got a 3.
Nice, and that is a success. So, yeah, that's right. We can play the sound effect. Ta-da!
Yay!
No, this is not a great check to have succeeded on because you watch Nyx. Nyx, you watch as the android, also coming to terms with this bursting that has happened, begins to sort of internalize, and you can tell that there's some sort of accessing here of confusion. And I'll give you it all because you succeeded. So, Jay, you remember arriving at asteroid 357 on your spacecraft with Rose. Here's a quick question for you in regards to Rose, a character who we may not know about or have met yet. When you designed Rose, when you birthed Rose, however you want to phrase it, I know that she was already at a she could talk and everything. She wasn't a baby.
Yes.
What sort of growth speed do you think Rose is at? Do you think from that birth point Rose ages like a normal person, or do you think is Rose age faster? And the only reason why is because that's going to determine how many years it's been from those stories.
Yeah, I think when she was like birthed, she was probably I want to say around 12 in like human years. And then I think she probably ages slower because she is part Magitech and part human. So I think that the Magitech kind of slows the growth down and the aging down a little bit.
So in that case, in order to get Rose to like a sort of 16, 17 where she is sort of your equal in the field here, working on projects, going on and doing things, working on the magic of the bioorganic chemistry and the evolution and creation of life. So if she ages slightly slower, that 4 years might be anywhere between 6 and 10. So that's how many years you'll have had with Rose at this point, as a
Great.
So you'll have had a nice. It's not like this is right after you've created her. You guys have been a team for a while.
Yeah, and I think like physically growth is slower, but I feel like mentally, because of the Magitech, she's got a higher like
brilliant.
IQ for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you remember then, now going back, you and Rose, working together, arrived at the asteroid due to its presence of a very powerful and rare mineral that has biological properties. We're going to invent it here with a little technobabble. So Cecilia, you're going to give me the first half of the element name, and Julia's going to give me the second half of the element name. And we're going to invent this new bioorganic mechanical crystalline structure that is essential to your research.
Ooh. I think the first half would be Omnia.
Omnia. Oh, God, you're so good at this. Okay, so Omnia, and then Julia, what is the second half of the Omnia blank?
Diem.
Omnia Diem. Oh, it sounds Latin.
I love that.
Omnia Diem. Diem, it's almost got like a holy or godly property, Diem. Okay, so Omnia Diem. It is a miracle material. It's in your research, the research that you've done. Would you like to share with Julia and I just the spark notes of the research you've done, so our audience also knows?
Yeah. So she's been trying to create life because she's a robot, she cannot like birth children or anything like that, but she's trying to create a synthetic but also humanoid life form. And so with Rose, she was finally able to do it using her technical skills and the void powers that she has. So I think now she's furthering the research to try and figure out how she can continue this process, because I think that it was extremely draining on her and her powers. To better help like society also to grow these things so that it's not just mindless androids, which is what she was before she discovered this ability.
So the Omnia Diem, you and Rose arrived here. It does look like, in fact, you probably discovered it was on this asteroid because another organization, a big corporation, Wayland Yutani, had already found the Omnia Diem and had started a mine here on the asteroid. You and Rose did arrive at a time at which you were able to meet with one of the miners who was present, someone named Joyce, who was very skittish and did not want to share much information about what was being done here. But unfortunately for Joyce and you and Rose, the memory bank seemed to show only flickering shadows and shapes crashing against power outages as alarms blared and an incident, a seal was broken. You remember at least one point watching somebody try to desperately slam on an airlock and it failing. In the chaos, luckily you don't remember seeing Rose get hurt at all. You know, Rose was running. You yourself may have even sort of tried to shut some doors or access the system to try to get scans or to control it, to lock whatever's out to get information. But the catastrophe that ensued left you struggling against something in the darkness, something animal-like, quadrupedal, you remember? So almost dog-like. And then really just not much else after that. There's a lot of corruption, a brief flickering of you receiving a signal that somebody must have sent out, a help signal. So, and then you come to terms here, and you recall all of that information, and it's immediately followed by something even more disturbing. You feel empty. there is a defense, a shield, a protection that you yourself have embodied that feels burst, that feels popped, that feels missing. And when you access that voice, that presence that you keep behind a firewall, there's nothing there. Nix, there's a lot to take in as you find the survivor. There is a survivor. An android survivor, it looks like. Luckily an android because there's no air out here. But as it's sort of coming back to terms and you see it access memory banks and sort of walk its paces and figure out what's going on, and a lot of panic. What do? You finally, Jay, as everything sets in, you do realize that there is somebody else here. The astronaut, this soldier. And I'll hand it over to you two.
Yeah, Nyx will just scan the environment quickly with her motion tracker just to make sure there's nothing else out here right now.
Yep, and that is going to be a hunt check. Or do you have any hunt?
Yeah, I have
Figured
3
you might.
hunt.
I figured, remembering what I know about Nyx, I figured you might. So this is good. So you're going to give me a moderate hunt check.
Okay.
Do you have your motion tracker written on your sheet? That's something you carry around.
I do.
Excellent.
Yeah,
so,
it's my good baggage.
I'm going to introduce the baggage real fast here for you two. Whenever you roll in this game and you have something in your sheet that is relevant, something that you know is related to this that you can use, whether it's a personal property, a memory, or a skill set, or a physical item, you apply the baggage to the roll and it goes up a level. It gets easier. So in this case, a moderate roll becomes an easy roll. So Julia, do you know how many dice you're going to be rolling for an easy roll?
That would be 6, correct?
Correct. So you're going to roll 6d6, and you just need one of those hunt numbers.
Okay.
It's almost impossible for Nyx to fail a hunt.
Yeah, I got 2 hunt numbers, so.
Excellent. So that is a success, which means with a success, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our where is it at here? Bring up our little board here. So we are in Act 1 right now. Because you succeeded on your hunt, I am going to go ahead and draw a card from the Act 1 deck, which says movement. Oh, nice. Appropriate. So as you look at your radar, your detector, and you can detect that there is movement inside, up ahead, probably in the station. Or it could be off to the right where that cavern entrance was. But certainly not behind you, not immediately underneath you, not above you, just in that direction. There's some movement. You see, I'll give it to both of you guys here. So Jay, you're also going to see this. Out of the corner of your eyes, maybe across the wall, the exterior wall of the station, there's a shape. It slips away.
Great.
Is that Do you know where? Did you take? Where is my void?
What's a void?
Very good question. It is an unknowable power that wants to destroy everything.
What model are you?
Why is that important?
Because I've never met another synth who has a void in them. Are you a working Joe, a David, a Bishop model? What model are you?
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying. I am... a prototype, and
Okay.
a relatively rare one to have a void inside of me.
Okay. You're synthetic though, right?
Yes.
Okay. Good. That makes what I'm about to tell you a little better for you, a little worse for me. If that thing, did you see that shadow run by really quick?
Yes.
Okay, if that thing is what I think it is, which it might not be, because I don't know what's on this asteroid. It may have eaten your void.
That would be very bad.
They like piercing your chest and doing things inside of you. Luckily, it's a lot worse for organics than it is for synthetics.
I
Do you know
don't
what
feel
happened
very
here?
lucky. Not entirely. From my memory banks, I remember some creature attacking the station, and then it all goes blank.
Any description on the creature at all?
Somewhat like a dog.
Color? Any
Dark.
Fantastic. Is there anything here that you need?
I would like to find my daughter, and I would like to find my void to keep everyone safe.
Okay. Great.
Did you bring
Okay.
that creature?
No, I didn't. No. All of the ones that I would have brought would have been very dead. I haven't brought any with me though.
That is good to hear.
I have a bits of a couple in my ship, but like I said, they're dead.
Could we use it to trap it? Would it want to come find dead friends?
No. Like I said, I'm not sure it's the creature that I think it is. It could be something else. And if you... How attached are you to your daughter?
Very.
So there's no way I can convince you to just leave now.
No. And I think that she starts going towards the station.
Can we wait? Oh. It's like my crew all over again. Okay. Yes,
So-
Nyx will follow Jay into the station.
Yes, excellent. So you will approach that south lock there. It does look like the outside door of the south lock at one point was maybe barricaded, but didn't hold and broke away. And it is damaged. Let me see if I'm gonna put this up now. Because it is a airlock, there is a middle chamber where you sort of step into, and then the doors behind you will need to shut, and then the doors in front of you can be opened. I'm going to... Here's where it gets fun. I'm going to put us... Yeah, this. This is the first time we've done this one of these games. Here it is. Yeah, okay. Great.
Ooh.
Yeah, fancy, right? So, let me drop the two of you right there in the airlock. So you've passed through the first door, which, like I said, sort of broke. It was maybe sort of being held open or barricaded closed in one way or the other. And then you are approaching the inner door. But, unsurprisingly, the inner door just has a little error message on its panel next to it that reads something like airlock failure.
Okay. Can I connect to the system? I'd like to see, obviously, if we can open up this door, and also any security footage that I can get on my. I have a handheld holographic computronic aid, which will help me.
That will help. So let's
system.
make this 66, and it'll be a technopathy skill. So you're going to be going for that 3 again, I think. So.
Okay, sounds good. I've only got 2d6, so it's going to be a little bit.
That's okay. That's okay. You can take 3 rounds.
1. I didn't get it that first one, so. Nope. Oh, come on. Nope. I didn't get it.
Yeah. You try and you plug in, so to say. You try to access any sort of footage, but it seems like the whole facility is running on an auxiliary power right now. Most systems, non-essential, are going to be completely offline, inaccessible, because there's just simply no power even provided. The other thing that you are able to access would probably be maybe a map. Let me see if I can pull a map up for you so that you can see a rough idea of what we're working with here. So if I do that, you'll know that you'll have been coming from the South Lock, which leads to effectively a junction, which leads to, you can tell there's a med lab somewhere in here, there's an armory, there's a mess hall, off to the left is some sort of garage workshop area, offices, quarters, and then again on that side is the entrance to the mines.
Are we just playing Among Us? Is that what this system is?
Alien RPG? Not entirely, not Among Us. What do you think, Julia?
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of venting. There's lots of venting, and a lot of people are sus. So.
Mm-hmm.
So you have access to the map. So unfortunately, and I'll double check the map on my end, I don't think there is another external entrance besides the South Lock. You could always try to break in a different way, or if you can maybe somehow figure out how to fix the airlock problem here, I'm sure the door would open.
Can I try and fix it then? Specifically just this airlock?
Yes, this would be...
I have a portable toolkit.
Yeah, this would be a matter of craftsmanship, right? So did you pick up any craftsmanship?
I did.
Nice! Excellent! I love when they pick up the skills that their characters are inherently good at. I don't know why I get so surprised. Of course you're going to have craftsmanship. Yeah, so we're going to start it at moderate. And you said you have something on your sheet that helps you with that?
I have a portable toolkit.
Great. Then that's perfect. You will be able to set up shop here and try to take away the broken barricaded parts that are shoved in there and try to lower a gauge that'll let the doors freely drop. A security measure, right? Their default state in failure is closed, but something has been set up here to open it. So yeah, 66. Craftsmanship.
Cool. Oh, now I get a 3. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I got a 2. That's what I needed.
Yep. So with that 2, you watch Nyx as this synth is pretty handy. It looks like. I think what are the working Joes, the synths in Alien that like do a lot of that labor manual, probably would be doing this sort of job. Yeah. So not unlike a working Joe, but with a very humane touch in how she operates. And in no time at all, you hear the sound of the door shutting behind you, and then the door in front of you opens up. Can you open it, or do I? Oh, I can. Nice. Fancy. And that gives you access inside. You now are able to traverse the station. And again, like I said, all of the rooms are going to be lit in just a sort of hazy, dim red light because it is running on the auxiliary power.
So James,
Yes.
can I use my motion tracker again to see if I sense any movement inside
Yes,
this
you
place?
can. Absolutely.
Great.
That's exactly right. Let's move this. There we go. So give me another hunt check.
Absolutely.
Every time I ask at this point forward, you can just assume it's going to be 66 because you got the tools. And yeah.
Okay, so there's one on my first roll, so
Nice.
good.
Okay. Yep. You pull the motion detector out again. You start to scan the ship, and because it's a success, we're going to go ahead and open up our card deck again, which tells us that we are going to draw a strange sighting. As you begin to enter the station and explore, you can see that a motion sensor on the ship, or on the station, appears to have been tripped. When the motion sensors get tripped, just like, kind of like a doorbell, they grant access to whatever tripped the sensor, which for you, Jay, means that where you were previously sort of hooked in and reading the camera feeds, one feed briefly and at very low power, very grainily, comes online to establish, oh, hey, we're sensing something. I don't know if we could say there's a screen in this room. We'll say there's screens in most rooms in case anybody needs to access things. I mean, like the door panels, you can probably use to access feeds like that. So, Nix, you watch as Jay pulls up the feed so that you can see it as well. And it looks like there is something almost pacing outside the airlock we just shut, right behind us. It's because it's so grainy and low resolution, it's running on the auxiliary power. It really is just like a noisy black blur. It's almost like a large cat sort of sprinting and stopping and chasing and prowling.
What should I know about this creature? Does it have any weaknesses?
Yes. Fire. And that's about it.
Ah, I see.
We have flushed it out of airlocks before. They don't require oxygen to breathe. And while other weapons can be used, fire's the only way to be sure. And like I said, not really an issue for you too much. But like they like going for the chest and the heart. They have a large stinger tail. And sometimes things then come back out of your chest.
Ah. Should I check my gaping wound? And if so, what for?
You can, like I said, it typically happens in organic creatures. If I don't know what all your capabilities are, if you can run like an internal diagnostic or something, see if there's any how do I put this without it creeping you out?
Thankfully, I have very few. I'm still learning emotions, and Fear
Great.
is one that
it
has
might
not
put-
hit.
It might put an egg or another creature inside of you.
Ah. That is, to use a word that I recently learned, disturbing.
So,
So if you want to run some sort of diagnostic for that,
I would love
Go
to
for
run
it.
a system
I'm not
diagnostic.
gonna have you roll for that. That's, you
Okay.
obviously know yourself easily enough. And the diagnostics will reveal that there was cascading failures starting from the inside out. So that whatever caused the wound wasn't like a shot from the outside, but rather something already in the system sort of expanding, growing, piercing outwards. And you can tell that it's about that time the diagnostics are showing that the firewalls were no longer holding back such high pressures. So whatever got out must have taken the presence with it, one way or another.
Gotcha. It seems I have birthed more than just my daughter. Once again, disturbing.
yeah, I didn't even know that could happen in synthetics. That's great. Can't wait to report that back.
So
yeah, just sorry. You ask whatever questions you need.
I guess, how do we make fire and contain it in this system that is filled with oxygen?
I'm so glad you asked. At this point, Nyx will pull off her flamethrower from her back. This is how I make fire.
That is amazing. And she lifts up she's got a gun arm. It's from like one of the fighter droids that she literally ripped the arm off of. So it doesn't quite match her. This does not make fire necessarily, but it does cause wounds.
Yeah, does it shoot normal bullets?
Yes.
Okay. They have. Sorry if I'm being super insensitive. I just don't know what you know. Bugs, how they have carapaces and like exoskeletons. Yeah, these things have that too. So bullets can work. They're just not the most effective.
Okay, I will keep that in mind.
Great. Also, do you have like a designation or something?
I was previously known as Prototype 91360, J91360, but you can call me J.
Great. Amazing. I'm Lance Corporal Nyx Vicarian.
Would you like me to call you Lance Corporal Nyx Vicarian every time I mention you?
No, you can just say Nyx. That's fine.
Good to know.
None of my squad respects my authority anyways. Nyx is fine.
Well, that is sad. They should respect your authority. You have a flame gun.
One of my squad mates also makes mechs. One of my squad mates has a tank, and one of my squad mates has drugs that make you feel better.
Ah,
So
my family members are a Sawbones, a fighter, gunslinger, a pilot, and a gambler that has a demonic entity attached to it. We are becoming so much closer.
We are. Yeah, my pilot, Her name's Matilda. She likes pink. She's also an online celebrity, or she claims she is.
Online celebrity. Interesting.
Yeah, she takes pictures and sells them online.
What is the pilot's name?
Matilda.
Oh, yes. And she's going to run through a scan of all of the data that she's pulled to kind of learn about different things.
Okay, great. There's a lot you're going to learn about Matilda there. So, at that moment, I need a... do either of you have predisposed?
No.
No.
Neither of you have predisposed. Great. I'm going to need a luck check from each of you then.
Amazing.
Okay. Dokes.
Jeez, I got 2 2s.
Nice.
Did not get 2s. or doubles, I mean. Or 2s.
No, it checks out. It checks out. Nyx, you are prepared. You know how to do this. You've been through very similar situations like this before. So, as Jay is starting to access any sort of history on Matilda and whatever that ensues, suddenly the mood changes dramatically. The air is sucked out of the room as there's a clanking and a sound above you, like it's an event. When you go back to see the rest of the feed from the motion sensor, it looks like the feed cut off about 5 minutes ago. You know, it detected the motion, it showed it, and then it stopped recording because it's got to preserve power. But something of similar size does appear to have just crawled over this room.
Great. At this point, Nyx will lower her voice a bit. If your daughter was hurt, would she go to a med bay, or what would she have done? Or if she was in danger, what's her instincts?
We have not been met with much danger in the past, except for what was inside of me. But I have taught her how to take care of herself. So she would go to a fortified position and find whatever type of weaponry she could to protect herself and whoever else she could find.
So you said on the map there was an armory, right?
There is an armory. So we do.
Would she have gone there?
Yes, an armory sounds perfectly adequate for her.
Okay, how about we check out there to see if she got there, but keep quiet and keep a lookout. Okay?
We'll do.
Now the
I mean,
question is,
we'll do.
nice inspiration point, Cecilia.
Thank you.
Do either of you have agility as your skills? Agility is the sneaking skill. Nyx! Not the sneak. Nothing sneaky about a flamethrower.
Nope.
Jay, you will be making a hard agility check here, which means you're only going to roll 2d6 and try to get your agility number. Do you have anything on your sheet that reflects trying to stay quiet and sneaking around? Any of the stealth related? You may not. Rogues tend to, criminals and thieves tend to have stuff written, but I don't know if it would be in Jay's sheet.
Yeah.
So it's going to live. Yeah, so it's going to live at 2. So the way this works is you guys are both going to be rolling 2d6. Julia, you're going to be hoping you get doubles. Cecilia, you're going to hope you just get your agility number.
Great.
Sounds good.
I did get my agility number.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So that's good then. You might notice that poor Nyx is probably way louder than you imagined a quiet crawl through the system would be. But together, the two of you keep just quiet enough not to draw attention. And I'm going to put you guys in this next chamber over here, which I think, if I go back to the map, should be the... Oh, yeah, the med lab and the science lab and all that stuff. Because we were going to the armory, right? Okay, so in that case, we have arrived in this center, which is the med lab. It's got everything you expect, little medical stations, and I think I'll just say to you, Nyx, as somebody who's been through more of these than Jay likely, it does look like one station has indicator above the door. Maybe it's just a very dim red light, or maybe it's a highlighted phrase or something that indicates that auxiliary power is primarily being channeled into this room. This room is being used because the med bay's got protocols that if life support is activated anywhere, that is one of the places the auxiliary power has to go. And so you can tell that even if the room is mostly dark and a little red lit, there is one of these stations that is drawing a lot of power.
Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tap into the system and see possibly who activated this or what specific life support function it's being used for?
I can definitely try.
Sounds great.
I'm assuming this is a technopathy.
Yep, it's another technopathy. 66.
Oh, I got double 3s on my first roll.
Ooh,
That's
nicely
Yay!
done. The best of technopathy checks.
Yeah.
I am going to throw... Let's see, what do I got? What's a description of Rose? Give me a description of Rose so I can pull a good Rose mini out.
Oh, that's a really good question. I actually haven't figured out what she looks like. I would say, for time's sake, try and find a mini that looks like Rose Hahn.
Okay, I can do that. Just find a Rose.
Because she is named after her, so.
Aw. Okay, great. Then works for me. There's our Rose. Let's put her in the med bay over here. So as you access the systems with your double 3s, you do get a scan. You get a whole feed of life support information from the one station that is still activated. And it looks like there is a roughly humanoid-shaped... There's a couple of errors, like where the data is expecting biological signals, but it's not getting the right signals. So it's almost like a little bit of a corrupted profile. But to you, that indicates more than anything else that it's Rose, because there's... if normal people should be reading XYZ and this one's reading GHI, that's certainly going to be Rose. The thing, though, that is worrying is that the trends of the biometrics do seem to be trending slowly downward, as if energy or life is being sapped out of her.
I think Jay just rushes into... She doesn't say anything. I think that she's just going to rush into the med bay.
Yeah. You do that, and you rush in, and it does look like your daughter, Rose, is safe on a medical table on a station. It seems like somebody must have hooked her up or set her up, or maybe, being the genius she is, she might have stumbled in and plugged herself into some of the tubes. But, yes, go ahead.
I think she's going to look around, hearing the pierce that they like to pierce into a chest area. I think she starts trying to feel around, see if there are any wounds on Rose's chest or stomach or back, to see
The good news is that you feel what feels like maybe a heartbeat. Like you put your hand down her chest, and it's like a bump. And the bad news is you don't remember putting her heart there.
Gotcha.
From behind you, you can see Nyx is following slowly, looking into the room. And it looks like you've probably been in this scene 1,000 times, Nyx, watching people who are in the medical state of there has been a hugging, but there has been no bursting. Right? Does that translate?
Yep.
This is my daughter. Do you think that she could have... There's no chest wound or back wound, but there is something not right.
James, can I approach Rose and look around her face and mouth for any sort of residue that is typically left behind when the hugging occurs?
Yeah, give me a hunt check. This will just reflect your knowledge of hunting and the creatures that they are.
Yes, that's 1 on my first roll, so we're good.
Oh, nice. Excellent. Yes, there does appear to be some scarring or some marks that are surprisingly healing quicker than you might have imagined. But the more you look at this creature's face, the more you realize that there's little marks here and there that indicate this is also not a fully 100% organic creature, but a touch here and there of some synthetic or mechanical augmentation. And with the confirming marks around the face, you imagine that she must have gotten attacked at some point. Now, the creature is not there anymore, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. The scars might indicate that maybe it was ripped off, which is typically a very painful process. But if she's synth like Jay, maybe that was okay. But the worrying part is that the flanges of the scars and the distance that they are on the face indicate that the creature would have had sort of webbed feet, which put the legs further apart in distance. You would recognize it as being a very special type of hugger. Something that... yeah, I'll just leave it there. I don't need to... Yeah, I think Julia understands enough.
Yeah. Do you want the good news or do you want the bad news?
I want whatever news you can give me.
Great. So the good news is these creatures. I'm now convinced that what is hunting us. We're not hunting them. They're hunting us. They are my specialty of alien life. The Wayland Yutani files call them xenomorphs. Wayland Yutani tries to cover up their existence as much as they possibly can. They have a very unique lifestyle, or life cycle, not lifestyle, life cycle. And one of their states is a creature that the files call a face hugger. Typically, they stay on after they attach around your mouth and shove things down your throat into your chest, and then either she ripped it off or something ripped it off, which is a good thing. That's the good news. Bad news is that it did its thing. And as far as I know, and as far as all of my experiments and research have done, there's no way to get it out without it coming out. Now, I don't know how that will affect her with her non-fully organic stuff. So I don't know for certain whether it would be a death sentence for her the same way it would be if when they attack, humanoids. Typically, we just throw them in cryo and we deal with it later.
Well, do you have space? The airlock. We probably cannot go out to your ship right now, can we?
We could. We just walk back through the doors and you do the thingy and you open the doors again.
Yes. My worry is also, you mentioned we were being hunted.
Yes.
How long does she have before it comes out?
I don't know. Realistically, I don't know. Because I don't know how long ago she was attacked. Because, like I said, she pulled it off, which typically doesn't happen. And also, I don't know with her being part synth. I don't know how that would affect the timing of it.
Okay. Could I try to use, I don't know, X-ray or something like that to try and figure out, where it specifically is in her body?
No, this is exactly right. Here's my question for you. This is where it gets very interesting. I love when it gets into the details like this. Typically, for some sort of interfacing, investigation, bodily scanning sort of thing, for humanoids, you'd be working on something like medical knowledge, which would be a sage. For something more synthetic, or like yourself, Jay, it would almost certainly be technopathy, because that's really, you can interface directly, you can get feedback, you can talk one-on-one with the body and get the information you need. It's not just about knowledge. Knowing your daughter and how you built her, I'm going to let you decide and sort of establish now, is this a matter of medical knowledge, or is it a matter of interfacing? Is she 51% organic, or is she 51% synthetic? Or more. I mean, she could be 99% organic. But yeah, which one's the majority?
Yeah. I think the majority is organic, unfortunately.
And that is where it gets tricky. As a synth, you have mastered all of the crazy things that come with technology, and you have worked your life to create something that is far beyond technology, more magical than technology, something that is even harder to understand. So the question is, do you have any sage?
Nope.
Do you have any sage, Nyx?
No.
So we are a little out of our league here. It's not impossible. But I'll probably allow, I guess, both of you to give me a sage checks to determine if either of you are able to read the body in the form and figure out what can be done here. Just keep in mind this will both be luck rolls. So it's the 2d6 and you're praying for doubles on either end. When you
Could
are
I
ready.
add anything? I have motherhood and good baggage.
Unfortunately, the baggage is applied to any of the rolls that are on the scale of easy to hard to impossible.
Gotcha.
So when it comes to luck, and especially because this is xenomorph biology stuff, it's what you would be very lucky to even be able to know about this.
I I was so close. I got a 2 and a 3.
Oh no.
That's okay. That's okay. As we
I
go
got a
along
2 and a
today,
5, which is an upside down too.
Between the two of us, we got doubles.
Yeah.
that's true. Between the two of you, you would have gotten doubles. Yes. What I will tell you is that you can revisit this check later if you find you've come up with more knowledge, or you have something xenomorphic or something that can help assist in discerning the situation here. For you, though, Jay, all you can do is, again, referring to tapping into the auxiliary power and seeing what this room is reading, what it's feeding, that it is keeping her alive, that it's, because there is a feedback loop here, her body is sort of establishing how much help she needs, how much oxygen she needs, or whatever. The systems appear to be giving her less and less stuff, which you would think means that she's getting stronger. But when you look at the other vital signs, she is literally getting weaker while requesting less help. So all of that is going into what you imagine is the creature inside of her, is basically taking over all of her energy, all of her health, everything that it needs. It is getting stronger, and she is getting weaker. You run some quick calculations, run some extrapolations, you find the linear regression of how the body has been adapting, and you give her, I don't know, maybe 2 hours? And at that point, there's another banging on the vent above you. I'm going to need a predisposed check again. See if we are prepared. Nothing from Cecilia. Julia.
I got 2 3s. I got 2 3s.
It wasn't a luck check, because you have predisposed, right?
No, I don't.
Oh, so you were rolling luck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Then yes, that's a success. I thought you were rolling for... The way you said it didn't sound like a success. It sounded like you were aiming for a 5, but you got doubles on a different number.
No.
Yes,
no.
2
so
3s
James,
is...
I'll just tell you this now. Nyx has Hunt. She has 3 instances of Hunt. 2 instances of Occult, because I figured alien stuff was the closest to Occult. And 1 instance of Personality.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, checks out. So, but you did get doubles on that luck check, so here's your little luck sound effect.
Yay!
And again, for the second time, you hear it first, Nyx, and you wave your hand and you sort of signal, and the room gets dead silent again. And you can hear it creeping away above, and this small beeping of the machinery. And then you think it's stepped away. You guys both catch your breath.
James, when you were describing things earlier, you said it made it seem like either she pulled off the facehugger or someone else pulled off the facehugger.
Yes.
Correct?
Because, yes, it was definitely the marks of, like, there was something there, and then the scarring and the marks on the face as if it had been pulled off. As if it... So it's not a very clean piercing in and out. It's like a sort of a scrape. Like, there was some resistance.
Can I check around the med bay area room to see if that tussle happened nearby, and if so, if I can find the corpse of the facehugger?
I love that. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to make it a hunt, but then I read the hunt skill, and it is tracking, trapping, and understanding the behavior of beasts and monsters. So it is. I mean, you are looking for the facehugger. Give me a hunt check.
Just moderate.
Yeah, it would be moderate. Yeah, because there wouldn't be motion detection here, right? If you're looking for, it sort of dies off and comes to a still.
Yes. I got 2. I got 2
nice.
hunts in my first roll, so.
Wow, critical success. No, there's no crits in Atris, sorry. It's too easy to succeed anyway. You do find that curled up in a back corner. not in this immediate place that you're in, but in the sort of lobby area. I'll push you right there. Oh, it's where you're already standing. In this sort of lobby area, you can tell that it must have been ripped off somewhere around here, because you can see little bits of that xeno fluid that is dripped out as it was damaged in the ensuing rip. And when you turn the corner and you come over behind this chamber, there is indeed a dead... I'll just put this little guy there. There is a dead queen face hugger.
Ah. Oh no. Yeah, so Nyx will go over. Nyx will pick it up by its tail. And she'll walk back over to Jay. Again, do you want good news or bad news?
Any information would be great.
Great. So I found it.
It appears to
so
be
we can
dead?
Yeah, they die after they do the thing.
Ah.
So we can try and figure out how long ago it happened, try and get a better estimate on how far along everything is and how long she might have. The bad news. This is a special facehugger. So xenomorphs. So you know about insects, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how bees work?
Slightly, yes.
Okay. This is a queen that makes xenomorph queens. Which is very bad.
So my daughter has a queen inside of her.
Yeah.
All daughters have queens inside of them. Let the record show.
Only my daughter. So, does that are we being hunted by other queens or the now angry workers?
Typically how xenomorphs work is that there's one queen that's really big. Like when I say really big, I mean like gargantuan huge. They don't really move a whole lot. They kind of sit in one place. We actually fought one in a dream once. We don't ask. But they're huge. They're typically sedentary, and xenomorphs have not a full hive mind mentality. Like they don't communicate like telepathically. Like they don't have a language necessarily, but the same way that like a queen bee can like order her workers to do things while staying in the hive. Xenomorphs do the same thing.
So if we tried to attack the queen that is inside of Rose currently, we would be attacked?
Possibly. I've never encountered a queen this way. Most of the one queen that we encountered was fully mature and was sometimes they lay eggs to make more xenomorphs. So I never encountered a chest burster queen, if that makes sense.
That is terminology that I wish I had never heard in regards to my daughter.
Again, sorry, I did say that I can try and use better language. But so I'm not sure if they have the control yet. If that makes sense.
Okay.
And I will
not
offer...
to make this any more weird.
I will offer to the table that with the presence of the royal facehugger that we found, That is exactly what I was mentioning earlier, where we can keep trying again every time we have something else to add to the puzzle that might give us another shot. Something new knowledge has entered the fray that might help.
Okay.
Because again, this is in all of the universe pretty much untapped knowledge that we have to research ourselves. A mostly organic, semi-synthetic queen chest burster. I mean, there's a lot of variables here. So I will. That all being said, I will allow you guys at this point that the bar has reset, and we can do another sage check on the body of the creature of Rose to see what options are on the table.
Oh no.
I'm always one off.
I got one off this time too, and one dice got stuck in my hand when I tried to throw both of them, and I was like, God damn it.
No, don't do it. So, the good news, Jay, is that, you are looking at the xenomorph, or not the xenomorph, the face hugger, and you're looking at its own biology, and you're racking in your head databases of different aliens and species and creatures. I mean, we know that you have this amazing zoological knowledge of forms and creatures. And you're able to cross-reference a few similar-looking things. Why does everything keep turning into crabs? Everything... and this thing is no exception. It's very crab-looking. Spider crab. And... sorry, I just realized. Cecilia, have you ever seen an alien movie?
I haven't, but I looked it up before we came on what a xenomorph looked like.
Okay,
I do know about some of the scenes, but
okay. If you need reference, in my head I keep assuming everybody knows what these things look like, so I haven't been pulling up reference material. But if you do need reference, you can just look up a face hugger, and that's what was brought into the room and was being held up. And but it gets you closer. You understand that. This proboscis that is used to implant the egg in the chest, it looks like it uses a piercing tip, and it sort of sets it in the sturdiest place it can find, which, if you're remembering the schematics of your own daughter you were forming, you have a rougher idea, or a better idea, of where the egg might be, and you understand that you don't think it's attached to anything vital. So it is absorbing energy secondhand through the natural body system, as opposed to being lashed onto a heart or a lung, or something where it can much more quickly take energy from Rose's life force. So that's a good sign, and it sort of confirms, it lines up with the estimate you were having of 2 hours. If this thing had immediately attached to something like a heart, probably Rose wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes. Which is also in line with the Alien movies, because it turns out there's a lot of controversy. In some of the movies, it happens instantly, and in some of the movies, it's hours or days. They can't get it figured out. But in Rose's case, it looks like, through the circumstances, it's about 2 hours still. But even though it gets you closer, you're not quite sure how to remove it. And as we spend more time plugging into systems and pressing buttons and running scans, I am going to need another predisposed check, because something's coming.
Okay. Dang, one off.
Julia?
Yeah, I got it again.
Oh my God, Julia!
Yeah, it's the three again. It's always the double threes I'm predisposed.
We have so far managed to avoid lethal contact with the aliens because of Nyx's expertise. Nyx has ears like a hound. Every time there's a single hint of anything that could be coming, you see Nyx's hand go up, and then everything gets quiet. You hear it again. A heavy breath and a clamping of vent. And it passes, and we're clear again. What do you do?
I would like to kill whatever is hunting us.
Okay, we can do that. I don't know how many are in here.
Mm.
And I also don't know if there's a nest nearby. But we can definitely kill the possible one or more that are currently in this building.
Great.
What do you want to do with your daughter?
I think for now, this is her safest place to be. I'm going to, I have a piece of tech that I can set up to incapacitate someone. So
Nice.
if I could just set that up like outside of her area.
Trap the door. Yep.
Right.
Yep. No rolls really needed for that.
Awesome.
You just sort of hook it up, line it out, and the two of you can step out, knowing that the entrance to that room is secure.
With the map we have, what is the most beneficial area for us to trap a xenomorph to set it on fire with your flame gun?
So trapping doesn't typically work a whole lot, mostly because there's things like air vents and like systems in the walls and stuff, and they are very stealthy and very, I don't like the word slinky, but like slinky creatures.
They
So
are
trapping
attracted by
doesn't-
sound?
Yes, because that's where prey is. They have a good sense for sound and movement.
Okay. Could we... could we make a lot of sound and draw them to a spot where we
Yeah, how about
potentially
we
could
head off to the armory and we see if there's anything else there for you, and then we can figure out what to do from there.
Sounds good.
All right, so we are going to travel through the station again, heading off to the little side room, which is the armory, which will be right over here. That I place little lightsabers and training dummies in because it's cute. But I digress. To get there, we will need to travel quietly if we don't want to attract the alien. So this is from our two friends here, who I don't believe. Who do either of you have agility? Remind me.
I do.
Yes,
yeah.
Jay has
And I
agility.
passed
Okay.
last time.
Jay has agility.
Yeah.
So so it'll be again, these are they're hard, so it's 2d6, and you'll be going for agility, and Julia's just hoping for doubles.
Yeah, no.
I got it.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So just like last time, Nyx is not the quietest person. Maybe thinks they're the quietest person. But you got to be kind of loud if you're gonna be fighting aliens a lot. But thankfully Jay makes up for it, and after a small scare where you think you see something on the wall, you look again, and it's just a trick of the light, you think. And you make your way to a little armory space down here. I am going to see what we have in store at the armory. There we go. Oh, that's so convenient. Is Alien a 2d6 system, Julia?
It's not a 2d6, it's a many d6.
Many d6 system. Okay, great. Because this is all adapted off of an actual Alien module, and it's so
Yeah,
it has me.
For the tables.
Yeah, the tables
for
are
the
2d6.
tables and stuff, you roll 2d6. Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly right. All right, so I will need. I'll let you guys both search. I'll let you each roll once on this table to search the armory. So you'll both just give me 2d6 and give me the total number. So the sum.
16.
16 from 2d6?
From 2d6?
Or you just read the digits?
A 1 and a 6.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
7.
I also got a 1 and a 6.
Oh my god, the friendship.
Yeah, sorry. Normally with like the tables and stuff, like John always asked for like rolling like a D100, and you roll the
Gotcha.
two tens.
Yeah.
So I was like 16. Yes, that is my answer.
Yeah. No, I got you. So both of you got 7s. Okay. In that case, I guess you guys just both find this. Oh no, I'll do this. I'll give you one of you gets the 7, and then I'll take the other one. I'll give it to 8. So I'll say Nyx, you find an M42 Model 371A2 12 gauge pump action shotgun, which we'll just call the shotgun.
Yeah.
And then Jay, the item just after that on the 8, is a key card.
Okay.
So unfortunately, you're looking for a flamethrower or any sort of fire-based weaponry here, but all you can find that looks useful is a key card.
I will give Jay the shotgun if they want it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, two questions for you. How good of a shot are you, and how careful are you?
I am an extremely good shot. I was taught by my friend, and I am very careful as well. Working with wires and soldering together my daughter has made me very careful.
Okay. So I don't even let my own squad do this. But Nyx will hand over negotiations to you, which is her little air-powered pistol, and she'll load specifically because she crafted. So typically she puts biotoxins and other type of fun things. You see a couple. She reveals a belt full of like literally a rainbow of like different vials. Some of them match the green of like the xenomorph blood drippings that we saw around, but she'll load in a couple of the orange ones, and she'll be like, yeah, me and some of my squad mates developed this. We took apart a flare gun and we did some chemical stuff, so it does essentially a little bit of fire. Not quite as good as a flamethrower, but I really don't want you to die.
Thank you.
I want this back, and like I said, I don't even let my squad use this.
Yes, of
but
course.
You need a fire weapon. And she'll hand over negotiations to you.
This, I can tell, is very meaningful to you, and in return, I will give you. She got a flower from Mara, who is our Sawbones, our doctor. She got a flower from her from like the garden that they were in, and so she gives over a flower to show my understanding of how meaningful this is. Please hold on to this. I would also like this back, please.
Absolutely. And Nyx will tuck it into a very safe compartment on her tactical vest.
That is from a dear friend to help with bravery and understanding.
Our doctor also gives us plants.
Yeah. Was that the drugs that make you feel good?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't use it, but a lot of the squad likes Doug's e-cigarettes.
That sounds very interesting to have an electronic cigarette.
Yeah. I don't use it. I don't claim to understand, but like I said, lots of my squad like it. So. So
Good to know.
we ready to go bug hunting?
Yes. Let us hunt some bugs. Usually I'm doing that at a computer board.
Aw, cute. We are this will be a hunt check. Is the goal here to set a trap, or just to locate it, or to do something that will bring it to you?
I would like to locate it first to see if
Locate
it's
it first.
typically hiding up in the vents or what its walking pattern is.
Then let's do one hunt first to locate. And that'll be your normal 66 hunt check.
All right. Yep, got it.
Yep.
Nice.
Using the motion detectors, you can tell these things are pretty active right now in the station, so it's not too hard to find. And because it's a victory, that means I have to go ahead and give us another card. This time, sketches. As you step out of the armory and you start pointing it around, seeing what it's seeing. There we go. You wander into the room just short of the armory, and it looks like you find a drawing that has been carved on the wall in blood. Somebody's last message. There's no words, but it looks like a large armored beast. Because this is a successful check, I'll just give you that information for free. It appears to be a creature known as a harvester. Harvesters were large animals utilized by Wayland Yutani, who have excavator-like claws and a acidic, softening saliva that are often utilized to carve and dig mines and tunnels. Harvesters, as far as you know, are not 100% xenomorphic. They are certainly monsters, beasts-like creatures, but they're more akin to something like wolves. They're just normal animals, dangerous, terrifying, but much easier to take down than a xenomorph would be. And it's after you look down at the motion detector one more time, you can tell that there is at least two creatures in the station. One of them appears to be off to your right to where was previously designated a mineral storage space, and the other one is slowly approaching from the left.
How many shots do I have of this orange liquid?
That's a good question. I don't have Nix's character sheet, so we're gonna roll a d6.
There you go. Works for me.
You have 5. You have 5 of those vials.
I think Jay's gonna try and get at least a little cover so that it can be, if something is coming, try and get at least somewhat an element of surprise.
Great. So you'll step back maybe into the armory hallway there on the off, and then again for you, Nix, you're standing. You came out into the open space, and then you detected something coming from the left, something coming from the right, well, I should correct that. Something coming from the left, something existing to the right.
Okay. James, I assume that there's, like, little weapons like knives or perhaps a box, like an ammo box or something
Oh,
nearby.
in the armory? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't roll for it, if you're like, I just want a knife, I'm sure there's a knife.
Oh, no, I just want one to throw down the hallway to make noise.
Yeah. That's fine by me. So you grab one and you're gonna throw it
To the left.
to the left.
So, yeah, so the thing coming from the thing existing in the right. So I'm gonna throw it to the left to hopefully entice it down the hallway and hopefully stop whatever is the thing.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Then I will hug a wall and take cover after I do that.
All right. So, we are going to make this a conflict roll. So this is our first conflict roll of the game. Conflict rolls are a little bit different. You're going to be looking at the type of conflict each skill is. Each skill is represented of one of three types: melee, ranged, or supernatural. This would be a ranged skill for you, which I think is your hunt. So you'll be basically rolling hunt. And you're going to be contesting the enemy's roll. The enemies always roll 1d or 66. And this is not a matter of whether or not you get hunt, but a matter of how many successes you get. So for instance,
Okay.
I am getting... Wow, I only got 1 success. So for you to succeed at doing this, to make your ranged attack draw the attention and trick it into doing what you want it to do, you'll need to get more than 1 success on 66 hunt.
Okay. Is it only hunt or is it all of my stats that have ranged on it?
It's not all of the stats that have range, it's just the hunt.
Okay,
you can pick one or the other. So for instance, you could use personality instead, but you'd be rolling against personality.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, I figure you want to roll hunt. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. So that's 2 successes on part 1. I also only brought limited amount of dice, so. And that is 1 more, so I got 3 successes total.
Excellent.
Ooh.
That is a success. So you throw the knife and immediately back off, trying to see what comes your way. And from the right, it does attract the attention of something that was hanging out over here. It appears to be a large, almost insect-like creature. For both of your sakes, it is basically a large alien-looking rust monster with claws, with like badger-like claws. In fact, I'll make him twice as big because he's probably a big old baddie. It comes scuttling out, almost insect-like. It's a little terrifying. And it reaches about this point here, and then it finds the dagger sitting on the floor. And you can watch from your position, Nyx, that it does seem to reach down. This harvester apparently does eat minerals and metals and rock, because it just basically takes the whole dagger in its little maw, and it messes with it, kind of like when you watch insects like clean their face and stuff. It's like little tiny hands and just a lot of flurry of activity. And you think that it just maybe ate the dagger, which is weird and gross. But what's worse is that the sound and the scurrying and the excitement of the harvester here has drawn the attention of something else. And the two of you hold your breath as a xenomorph. We know what these guys look like. There you go. As a xenomorph has come hurling down the hallway and just basically tackles the harvester whole, scrambling up against the back wall. There is an unfortunate flurry of sounds from both of them that is just like heart-wrenching and spine-tingling. You know. And you still keeping your breath held, being as quiet as possible, you think that it just took out the harvester. And you, both of you now, with your heads peeking out of the armory, are looking at the back of the xenomorph. This would be, for Nyx's sake, this would be like a sentry, I don't know how well Nyx knows specific xenomorphs, but this would be a Sentry Xenomorphs.
Very well.
Yeah.
Great. At this point, I would like to use some diplomacy on it.
Oh, yes, your gun.
Diplomacy is not an actual diplomacy, yeah. All right, so we have entered combat. I already initiated, so I sort of went first as the Xenomorph, so we'll make the order. This is round 1, and the order can be Xenomorph, Nyx, J. So we'll go in that order. Xenomorph, Nyx, J. Xenomorph, Nyx, J.
Great.
Nyx, it is your turn.
Okay, how do I shoot in this system?
Nice. Good news, it's pretty much exactly the way you just did it. So you will roll the 66. It will be hunt-based because you're doing ranged. Yes, you are shooting.
Yep.
And then it will be opposing my d6. Now, I rolled really poorly last time. I can't promise I'll roll so poorly this time. The Xenomorph in this case got 2 successes. I'm rolling a lot of 5s and 6s. I got 2 successes. If you're curious, the Xenomorph succeeds on 1s, 2s, and 3s.
Okay.
So you're going to need more than 2, or sorry, because you're attacking and you're a player, you're going to need 2 or more successes. You got 3? You got 4.
4.
Oh my god.
My
All right, so
gosh.
Nyx, you step out from the corner and you use your diplomacy. Diplomacy is the gun or the flamethrower? I forget.
Flamethrower.
The
Negotiations is the gun.
That's right.
Because you can poison someone and still talk to them and reach, negotiations as they're begging for mercy.
So why is the flamethrower called diplomacy?
It was used a lot on enemy soldiers.
Gotcha.
So, immediately the room is lit up with the light of a massive jet of flame spewing out from Nyx's gun, and you hear the Xenomorph cry out, and it spins in place. It's starting to burn at the outside. It holds up some hands to protect its own face. And let me see here. It is going to take a single wound. Just like you guys, it has a set of wounds on its sheet. Enemies in this game will range from 1 wound to 6 wounds. The Xenomorph must have more than 1 wound, because after it takes this wound, it is still up and going. Which takes us to Jay's turn. Jay, you're not sure, watching the scene, you're not sure if it's going to run or if it's going to fight back. It looks like a little of both. What do you do?
I think then she is going to use the air-powered pistol, use one of the vials in that.
Excellent. Do you have any
use
ranged
negotiations.
abilities?
Yes, I
Of your
do.
skills, okay.
I have agility. I have that twice.
Great, so then you will be rolling basically an agility check. You will be rolling 66, because now you have the gun written on your sheet. And you're going to give me the count of successes, knowing that you need to beat 2 again. Only 2 successes, so you got to get 2 or more agilities.
1 success. 2 success. 4 successes! I only
Nicely
saw
done.
one of
4
them.
successes again.
I've got 4 successes!
That was awesome! it's so like, there's so much tension when you're like only rolling 2 for 3 times.
Yeah. So, luckily for the 2 of you, Jay also steps out, fires off around, and the combined efforts of Flame and Bullet certainly draw the Xenomorph back. It's taken a second wound, not dead yet, but on its turn, it is going to turn and try to flee from the flames that are chasing it. I'll put it, it's very, very fast, so I mean, you're going to just kind of see, like, the tail of it on its way out. And I'll give you the option to continue to engage, or chase, or hunt, as we take it to Julia. It is your turn.
Jay, you said we're killing this thing, right?
Yes.
Nyx will chase after it.
All right. Nyx turns around and heads after it. I'll give you... I mean, you don't have agility on your sheet, Nyx.
No, but flamethrowers have a long range.
Flamethrowers do have a really long range. I would say it's probably right at the tail end of that flamethrower range in the time it had to run. So I will make this, I'm going to actually start this one a level up. So it's going to start at hard, which means with your flamethrower on your sheet, it'll go up a level. It'll become moderate.
Moderate.
So it's about half as easy to hit. You're going to roll 3d6, see if you get a hunt. Or count your hunts. You got 2 hunts.
Yep.
The xenomorph got 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. So in that case, yeah, the flames do flicker right at its tail. But this time it is managing to scurry away. It doesn't take any damage. Jay, anything else you want to do, Nyx, besides stand there and set things on fire?
Not really.
Great. I'll just give you your fire. Jay, you're up. You can see Nyx has started to give chase.
Yeah, I think Jay is, I think he's going to try and pull up try and give chase, but also try and pull up that the screens again to try and see any security cameras.
Oh yeah,
so we can see
if
what
there's
else
any
is.
sense of where it's going. Unfortunately, the security camera systems are, like I said, offline unless power can be restored, which it could be. It's possible. But without the power, the only cameras you'll be able to access are any emergency security cameras that are primarily on the outside of the station, not on the inside.
Okay. Then, can I attempt to try and fix the power problem as we're running?
From a panel, no. You would probably need some sort of power
Okay.
cell, or you need to at least find where the power cells are plugged in to fix them, or plug yourself in to power it or something.
Sounds good. Then I'm going to try and chase after it. And at this point, just chasing, not trying to attack it, because I want to know where it's going.
Yeah, I know you've got a couple of agilities too, so you're pretty fast. You'll be outpacing Nyx as you sprint down the hallway in a very terrifying iRobot-like fashion. I'll take it from the top of the round then. The Xenomorph, no doubt, is going to get... I'm just going to roll a quick skill check for it. I need to get a 4. I got a 4. It starts to clamber up the side of a wall and into a vent and disappears. But it's very loud as it's sort of running, so it's not impossible to still track. It's just, out of sight and now above, back to where it might have been making those sounds before.
Okay. Are we still in combat, or are we...
No, I'm going to take us out of combat here. Not that combat really changed. I mean, yeah. We're back into... It's quiet. The air smells like methane or whatever sort of other chemicals have been spewed. And the sounds of ventilation get distant as it continues to flee.
Can I make a check to try and figure out where the void could be?
Yeah, give me an occult check. Do you have occult on your sheet?
I do. I do have
I
occult on my
figured.
sheet.
So give me a moderate occult check. And if you have anything on your sheet related to the void, I guess that can go up a level. Anything
I
related
have
to the
cool
occult.
void powers.
Great. So give me 66 occult check.
One off. Okay, let's see. Come on. Yep, I did. I got it. I got one.
Excellent. Based off of what you know about the void and how it exists and how it lives inside of things, and it can be taken into creatures. I mean, I believe you watched it be taken into not just you, but other people who tried to absorb it. Your best guess is that the void did get out of you, but not necessarily of its own volition. It may have hitched a ride, which means out there is some sort of young chest burster, tiny newborn alien that contains the link to the voidal dimension that is ready to devour the realm and the universe as a whole. uh, a universe slaying alien baby lurking somewhere around here.
Okay. So I can't tell if it's like a hot cold situation kind of a thing if I'm getting closer.
Not so much.
Okay.
With the voidal energies removed from you, it's you would need to be able to create some sort of its energy signature, right? You built the firewalls that suppress it on will. You would have to make something that is specifically detecting that energy signature, the same way that we know Nyx is hunting aliens through their own sort of sounds and movements. And not to say it can't be done, but it would have to be invented.
Yeah.
Because we're working with breaking new ground here.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think it will tell its friends that we are here and fighting?
Oh. You're muted.
Sorry, cats had to eat, so I muted myself, so there was no meowing or crunching. If it has friends here, maybe. Typically, they don't come back in hordes unless you're near its nest or other things like that. So I'm not too sure. However, Nyx at this point will go to the armory and get one of the knives and start cutting off the head of the harvester.
Great, you can add harvester head to your inventory, to your good baggage.
I don't have this one yet for my trophy room, so.
I have never thought of using the heads of enemies as trophies, but it does help explain a story.
Story?
When you are telling others about it. Normally, I just put up a holographic image of the enemy that I slayed.
Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, I need to work on that when we get back.
It is extremely useful.
So, game plan. Next steps. If you're curious, we have officially entered Act 2 at this point. We've had our first xenomorph encounter. So as we continue from here, I've got a whole different deck that we're drawing from as things may or may not happen. Which might be more terrifying or less terrifying. We'll find out soon enough.
What would constitute a good area for a nest?
It really depends. If there's some sort of, I don't want to say food source because that sounds weird for what they use their food for. But we've encountered them in caves before. We've encountered them in basements of like science facilities and things like that. It just kind of depends.
So
maybe
in dark,
maybe
uninhabited
in the
places?
quarry or mine or whatever.
Yes. Right now, my plan is, with my daughter potentially going to die because of the chest. What were the words you used? Chest burster?
Yes.
I want to go and, no pun intended, scorched earth on all of these creatures.
So I don't know if that's feasible. We have never taken down a nest and the few reports I have involved, like, blowing up a spaceship onto it. So I'm not sure. I like where you're going, and I'm totally support it. I just don't know if you and I by ourselves can do that right now.
Got it.
You said when I first got here and you were first waking up, that you said your daughter and then your void.
Yes.
Do we want to try and find that?
I would love to find that. I believe that it is inside an infant chest burster. And I would assume that it would go back to the nest when unable to find something else to hug.
The face huggers are the one that hug.
What do the chest bursters do other than bursting chests?
Grow into bigger xenomorphs.
Okay.
So you think your void is in the xenomorph nest?
That's what I believe, yes. Because, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in all of my research, the infants of a species go to the home of their parents, usually, to live there and grow bigger. Is that the same with xenomorphs, or are they among the types of birds where they grow in a nest but then are pushed out and have to grow further by themselves?
To be honest, I'm not really sure because we typically kill them.
Ah, well, that is very good news.
Yeah. If we find chest bursters, our instinct is typically to kill them, not necessarily follow them back and start a nature project watching the full life cycle of them.
Yes, that makes sense. They do not sound like they are very nice creatures.
But we can definitely go look in the quarry there and see if we can find them all. Or find your void.
That sounds good to me. And if we can find it and I can entrap it again, we might have another... I do not want to use the word ally on our side, but another powerful being.
Could they possibly help heal your daughter at all?
Potentially.
Okay.
So with a new destination, I mean, we will need to sort of sneak back out and go to that exterior entrance. It's another little airlock that leads down into the asteroid. That is, unfortunately, another agility check. We're doing some more sneaking around. So I can get us right there. I can take us there as long as we succeed and we don't provoke the attention of any forces that may or may not be around. So agility from Jay, luck from Nyx.
And how many is it again?
It would be 3
Still
by default.
3? Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I succeeded on 1. I guess I'll roll another one just in case. And
I got double 5s this time instead of double 3s.
Wow. Your rolls are killer.
It's my Candela dice. Like they're just trained to do what I need them to for D6 systems.
That's amazing.
Lower, and I'm gonna take us to the caves. This is all still here from yesterday. That's funny. Okay, give me 1 second. I went to go switch to the caves, and it was instead a cowboy adventure from yesterday that I apparently forgot to clean up. All right, there we go. This should do it. And bring up our board again. All right, so let's take us down. You guys will navigate the cave system pretty easily. It's just another airlock. This one's not broken, so you go in and you scan in. It'll shut behind you, and you'll find yourselves slowly descending underground.
Can we smell any scorched bug around here?
Ooh. Give me a... You don't have hunt, do you, Jay?
Nope.
So you give me a luck. Give me a luck, Jay. Let's see what you are picking up. Nyx is over here with her fancy technology, and Jay's just smelling. Which I guess is technically fancy technology if it's a synth nose.
It is, yeah. No, I did not.
No, it doesn't seem like the one we had set fire to must have run this way if you're looking for any sort of symbol or sign of flames and scorch. Nyx, on the other hand, your motion detector, I won't even have you roll for it because you're heading down. You are detecting a number of creatures. It's hard to get a good read because as you rotate the sensor a little more in this direction, you get 2 or 3 dots over here, and when you turn it back the other direction, you're seeing another system of 3 or 4 dots that are in a new formation. So there's a lot of things moving around a lot down here. The lump in your throat just kind of grows, as it does seem to feel like your hunches of nest activity are correct. And because of that hunt, I will go ahead and draw an Act 2 card. Oh, good. Hunted. Love that for us. This is, it's funny, but it's actually terrifying. So, sorry about this. As you begin to head down the passageway, you immediately see on your left coming up a set of eggs that are set into the wall. They are covered in a sort of slime-like substance growing up the side of the cavern. These eggs are pretty big. I mean, they are like, I don't know, Julia, how big's a xenomorph egg? What would you compare it to?
Like an ostrich egg?
Yeah.
Like they're pretty big, and they're also so the egg itself is like a greenish color, and there are like dark, like I don't know if they're black or like just a darker colored, almost like leathery carapace around it, and as you get closer the carapace like opens up like a lotus flower.
So pretty.
Yeah. And as we approach, Nyx goes, don't go near them, they explode.
Good to know.
And I'll step Jay away from it then. We'll take the lower path. Unfortunately, the hunted, besides coming up on some eggs, it does mean that a sentry emerges, steps out from... We'll say that as you are taking the lower path, it looks like maybe he was stalking on the upper path. And we're going to go back into conflict again. I will give him the first round. This is a different sentry than the one we just fought. Actually, that's... We'll do this one. I like this one. Yeah, I gotta look at my different xenomorphs. Like, which one do I feel like this one is? Yeah, because that's the one we fought before. So yeah, so he's going to lurch down. And Nyx, you're gonna find yourself very dramatically and iconically pinned to the ground as it roars in your face. I am going to make my attack Unfortunately for you guys, the xenomorphs do 2 wounds each on a direct, like, conflict thing, so it only takes 3 hits from a xenomorph to die, which is basically in line with the movies. So you're going to need to have... Do you have any... okay. So good news, I only got 2 successes. Bad news, this is melee. Do you have any melee skills, Nyx?
Mm-mm. I have ranged and supernatural.
So the good news would be that this is now a luck check, which means it doesn't matter how many successes you get, you just need to succeed the luck check. The bad news is luck checks obviously are dastardly hard.
I mean, my luck with them has been pretty good today.
You've been burning a lot of your luck so far.
Okay, come on. No.
So you're going to take 2 wounds. So on those checkboxes next to your skills, you'll mark the little X off. I recommend picking the ones you don't have as many of. Like, it definitely do maybe personality and maybe the occult. Because if you do the hunt, the bad thing about it, if you wound your hunt, is that means doesn't matter which of your 3 hunts you wound, all of your hunt checks are going to get harder.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I did.
Cool. And you, Jay, as you're sort of pushed back as Nyx falls to the floor, and you can watch the creature claw into her. We'll do since Nyx got attacked, we'll do Xenomorph Jay Nyx this time. Jay, what do you do?
I think that she's gonna shoot again with negotiation. I think that she's gonna shoot again with negotiation at Xenomorph.
All right, and you'll need to get more or equal to 5 successes.
Oh my gosh. And this is with
your gun, which I think we said was so 66, and agility, so you'll need to get agility. Yeah. You need to get 5 agility successes. The odds are not in your favor right now.
Oh my goodness.
For sure.
1 success. Oh god, it keeps getting stuck in my hand. This is too scary. My hands are getting sweaty. 2 successes.
It's a nice try, but at this range, so close, you fire and it goes over the creature and into the wall. You see a splatter of biotoxins drip down. You're trying to get the range so you can aim it correctly because it's so dark down here and the creature itself is so dark. It is kind of like in your flashbacks, kind of like in your memory banks, this vision of just movement and alarm and panic. And now, Nyx, it is your turn. As you're being pinned down, you still have access to everything you normally do.
Yeah, is it pinning my arms down?
If it is, not to the point that you can't, like, grab for a weapon.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shove my flamethrower in its mouth, which I assume is chomping at me right now. And just
which mouth? The big mouth or the little mouth?
The little mouth, because I think that's funnier. And I will try and shoot it in the mouth.
Yeah. So that is, let me roll the opposing. So you're going to be rolling your 66 hunt. I got 1 success. Wow. This is going to be really easy for you, apparently. 6, 4, 6. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. 3 successes.
3 successes total. More than enough. Yeah, I mean, it's immediately just a flurry of flame and smoke fills in front of you, illuminating the 2 of you in the darkness as you can see flashes of the creature's strange carapace flourishing left and right and panicking and trying to back off of Nyx. It gets probably about back here. And I will give... you know what? I'll give it 2 wounds this time, because I think it's probably a little more lethal than just shooting at it from a distance. Which means it is its turn. This one is not going to run this time. It is going to jump up onto the side wall and scurry almost insect-like, and then bounce off and throw itself at you, Jay, flinging the two of you sort of backwards into this direction. It appears to probably just be trying to protect the eggs, if nothing else. You catch it, just sort of throwing a fleeting glance back at the eggs here and there. And I will make an attack on you, Jay. Jay, do you have any melee abilities?
I do. I have
okay.
2.
Oh, is that
craftsmanship and vitality?
All right, so you'll have to pick one. So you have to pick either make this a vitality, and this will flavor how you're defending yourself, right? If it's vitality, then it's just a matter of like, oh, I can take it. I can defend myself. If it's craftsmanship, it might be a matter of like you taking one of your tools or something else, or like smashing the wall behind you to make a rock fall on its head, something that keeps it from being successful in its attack.
Okay.
So you declare up front if it's vitality or craftsmanship, and then you're going to roll your 66 to see if you can get more successes than 2. I got 2 successes.
Okay, I'm going to go with vitality.
All right, so you'll need to get 66. You need 2 or more vitalities.
I got 2.
Okay, you matched it.
Okay.
I'll give you 1 wound, rather than the 2 that you were expecting, because you only just barely are able to keep it back. It does manage to sink a quick bite before you can push it off of you. So you'll check off one of those wound boxes, and any rolls with that skill going forward will be harder. And it is your turn, Jay.
Amazing. Seeing that the xenomorph look towards the eggs, she's gonna take her gun arm and go up next to as close as she can without them exploding, and just point the gun arm at the eggs, and try and threaten in some way this xenomorph of blowing up these eggs.
Excellent.
I don't know what that would be.
Okay. Do you have personality?
I don't know.
Okay, so this would be just a plain luck to see how this comes together.
Okay. I did not get it.
Yeah, Nix, as
Luck
you
is
rise
not
to your
good for
feet,
me.
as you sit back up, Nix, you look where the creature might have jumped. You saw it jump sort of over you, behind you. And you see that Jay is pointing the gun and threatening and speaking to the xenomorph as if this is a hostage negotiation. And that doesn't seem to be reading well. That for some reason, the xenomorph isn't like, whoa, back off, not my eggs. It is your turn. What do you do?
I'm gonna shoot it with my flamethrower again.
Excellent. You are going to be up against. Let's see. He seems like he rolls really high or really low. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I got 4 that time.
Okay. I got 3.
Yeah, you shoot again. And this time he's kind of expecting it. The flames do scatter. He's ducks out of the way. And gets in real close in between Jay and the eggs anyway. But you do miss. What else do you got? Anything else after that, Nix? Did you want to move anywhere or say anything?
Yeah, I'll tell Jay. They don't really understand common.
But you said they explode? The eggs? They explode? If you get close to them?
Yeah.
I'm just putting this out here, James. I did say I could get as close as I possibly could without them exploding, and then the xenomorph just went between the gun and the eggs.
Yes. Give me. Oh boy. See, the question is.
Would the xenomorph be affected? Would the eggs explode in the presence of a non-organic? And if so, would the eggs poofing affect the xenomorph?
It's like
That is the question.
it's literally what I'm trying to Google right now. Is if the if the egg ripples, if the egg bursts, would cause any sort of problem to a xenomorph. I'm gonna say it will in this case, and if not, then John can shut up. When John watches this later and is like, I run the Alien RPG and they're immune to the egg burst damage, and I'll be like, doesn't matter. It's cool. It's cool. The fact that Jay takes us one step closer and it hits the alien from behind is pretty cool. So, I guess you do that, Jay.
Cool.
Then in that case, I will, I'm going to do a quick defense here from the alien to see if he takes the damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But he didn't get a 6, which was, in this case, I needed a skill check, and he missed the number he was aiming for. So with that agility, or that vitality fail, I'll give him another wound, and you watch as this little sentry cries out in pain and sees you, from behind. He appears to have been hit by this sort of thunderous blast, and he locks dead, big black eyes with you for a second on this massive eggplant-like head. And then right at the last second, he leans in. He tries to get you. And then he falls dead.
It hurts when people try and hurt your children, doesn't it?
And I am going to give you guys a buddy point for taking down a xenomorph together, your first xenomorph together, which does take us past the buddy threshold. Congratulations, buddy cops. You have unlocked the power of friendship. Yeah. That means that you now have the option to replace any role in the game at any time with a friendship roll. A friendship roll is, we actually succeeded one earlier today. It's when you both roll luck, and you can match the doubles either inside your dice or with your buddy. So when you guys both rolled 5s on the luck earlier, that was a successful friendship roll. The good thing about them is that it's basically 3 luck rolls in one, because it's like Cecilia's luck roll, Julia's luck roll, and across the 2 of them. So you can replace any roll in the game with a friendship roll. It's really great when the odds are not in your favor. When it's like, you need 5 successes to beat the xenomorph. It's like, I'm only rolling 3 dice. The only way I'm going to succeed on this is through the power of friendship.
Cool.
But the cave is quiet. In the distance, you can hear, echoing roars of other xenomorphs that must be down here. But we are safe and alive for now. Do we proceed? Do we progress? Do we fall back? What do we do?
I think Jay is going to cut the head off of the xenomorph. No. Mainly for study, but
That's true. As another xenomorph part, that would reset the ability to run the checks on Rose. Mm-hmm. And because we've unlocked the power of friendship, we can also replace those sage checks with friendship checks, which is then be much easier. Yeah.
And double checking on the friendship checks, we have to say it's a friendship check before we make the roll.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Just say like something to the effect of like we're gonna have to, because with a friendship check you both have to roll, so you can't try it and then be like, can you roll too? It's like you gotta agree. Like everyone's on board. We're gonna do a friendship check.
Yeah, but so like if what happened earlier where we are both doing a luck check and we get ones that connect, but because we didn't say it was a friendship check, that wouldn't count.
Well, it wouldn't count, but at this point when you unlock it, pretty much anytime, if you guys are both rolling luck, we're just gonna roll friendship.
Okay, cool.
Because it is individual lucks plus the extra bonus. Anyway. So yes, that's where we are now. The cave is quiet. The dangers are lurking. What do you do?
Jay, I have a bit of a strange question.
Yes.
How big is the void, and can it move on its own?
The void the void is like a mist. It can be as big or as small as its container. It cannot survive without a container for long, so it must be inside of something, and it will drain the life force of that thing while it is inside of it. And then it either travels in the husk of that thing that it drained, or it transfers to a stronger being.
Okay, so I can't just track it directly.
No. We could try and put something together with the signature that I know of it, and you could track it that way, inside, but it may be masked by the chest burster.
Okay. Do you want to try and mess with my motion tracker? And we can see?
Yes.
Great, and she'll hand it over to you.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right,
So can I do
technopathy. We're looking at a. It would probably start hard because you're trying to circumnavigate what you know is the xenomorphic masking, but because you have your technology features, that would make the hard go back up to medium. So you've got the option to do a medium check for you, and because this is our first check since we've unlocked it, you always have the option to make it a friendship check instead. So you're going to either look for how many technopathies do you have on your sheet?
Just one.
Just one. So you'll be rolling 3d6 and hoping you get that number, versus rolling 4d6 and hoping any two of them match. Mathematically, I'm not sure which one's better. Maybe one of them does work out better, but those are your options: is to work together and try to get the doubles across each other or with each other, or just try to roll the 3d6 and hope you got a technopathy.
I mean, I feel like it makes sense for this to be a friendship roll, since it's including both of our kind of technology things.
Yeah, that's right. The xenomorph masking, you got to ask the xenomorph expert, and then the sort of eldritch power of the void. Okay, so then we're going to do our first friendship roll. The both of you are going to roll me 2d6. We'll look at all four numbers, and we'll see if any of them match.
Okay. Did you get two matching numbers already?
Yeah, I got two matching numbers. Did you roll any ones?
No, I rolled a 2 and a 5.
I got 2 ones.
Oh.
You do a great job, Jay, of reworking this thing to account for voidal energies, and you think you've figured it out, and it's not displaying any sort of sense anywhere. And that's a little alarming at first, because if the void is not here on this asteroid, where is it? But then, Nyx, over Jay's shoulder, you can see that there's actually just this little knob here that she's got turned off. You just turn that on. It's not that it's not showing any signatures. The screen brightness was really down low. Here, hold on. Here you go. And then you watch as Nyx sort of swipes twice to mask familiar patterns, and using the knowledge that Nyx has of how xenomorphs move and crawl, the cross section of xenomorph behavior and voidal signatures pinpoint a single creature that appears to be lurking here.
Like here, not the xenomorph that was just destroyed.
Not the xenomorph that was just destroyed. Here, as in the caves.
Okay.
So the little guy, as you suspected, must have at some point. After all, you were found outside. You were not found in the station. So it probably crawled, you're imagining, just from where you were out into the mines.
I think we should try and find this voidal chest burster Because, like I said, it may not be a necessary ally, but another powerful being, and I don't believe it would want to be inside of one of these xenomorphs for very long, especially an infant. That's life force would potentially drain faster.
Okay. So you don't have to justify it. We can go get your void.
Okay. Then let's go.
All right, are we sneaking down?
We will attempt to.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
So
also
now
want to
this-
make
I was
this a
gonna say-
friendship roll?
I'm down to make it a friendship roll, yeah.
Okay. Okay, mine do not match.
Mine don't match either. I got a 4 and a 3.
I got a 1 and a 6.
Dang!
So, the two of you do track your way down the caves, the mines, a little bit further, doing your best to stay quiet. But after you get, you jump down a little ledge that seems to open up into a large area where the signals are coming from. But unfortunately, the beeping on the sensor, the motion sensor, indicates that you are being stalked by not one, but 2 sentries. And you saw just how hard it was to even navigate one. When you look backwards, you can see the motion in the darkness. They are coming up on you probably in the next 5 seconds. What do you do?
I have this piece of tech called a chrono repeater, which basically does what it sounds like. It's a time repeater, so we've used it in the past to kind of show, like a hologram, a thing happening for an extended period of time, just that same thing happening over and over again, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would work to trick these guys, but
It'll be hard. It'll be very hard. Well, then let's try it if that's the best you got. Nix, do you have anything in that 5-second window as you can feel them bearing down, about to launch? Is there anything you had?
Reload my canister for my flamethrower.
Screwing in another propane tank. All right, Jay, you go into hyperdrive mode, you overclock, and you try to figure out the best course of action at this moment, and the next thing you know, you've got the chrono repeater in your hand. You're going to try to throw it down, and I guess it's going to effectively create the illusion of you two standing here, repeating that imagery of you guys being here over and over again. This would be, well, we're back in conflict. This would probably be supernatural. It's not melee or ranged.
Okay.
I think trying to do this illusionary magic, so to say, would be a supernatural check. What supernatural skills do you have?
Technopathy and occult.
All right, so you can pick either occult or technopathy, and you're going to try
I think
to
it's
get...
probably technopathy.
All right, so then you're going to try to get 1, 2... Wow. You're going to try to get 2 or more successes.
Okay. Two successes.
Nice.
And 3 successes.
3 successes. Excellent. So the two of you, how do I copy? Copy. There we go. I'm going to drop down another set of Jay and Nix as the two of you duck and dodge over behind this column.
Perfect.
So it looks like you're still standing there. You probably, because you're in overclocked mode, trying to knock this all out as quickly as possible within 5 seconds, you've probably grabbed Nix by the arm and pulled her over while she's still working on trying to reload. She's ready to just fight these guys. When Jay finally lets go and you turn back around, Nix, you can see it looks like you still standing there in this endless loop of screwing in the new canister some sort of... It's a very realistic looking hologram. Though you do note that there is like a little thing on the ground underneath of it, projecting it. And it's anyone's guess as to whether or not this will work.
I think with putting, if I can do another thing, or if we want to move to.
I'll let Nyx do something, and then I'll take their turn. What do you got, Nyx?
Does it look like they're distracted by these guys?
They've just crested over the ridge where they would have seen you, and they are looking at the two holograms, and we are in that moment of hesitation where you've caught them figuring it out, if they're figuring it out. But they don't see you, right? So you are still hidden in this moment.
I know. I'm gonna pick up. So we're in like a cave, like a quarry,
Yes.
right? Essentially.
Yep.
Yep. I'm gonna pick up a rock that's probably many rocks on the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna throw it to where the holograms are, so there's movement, because I know that they're movement based.
Nice. Give me, yeah, let's just make this opposed range, so that you can try to aim the rock, hit it right, get the movement going, and you are going to be facing 6 successes. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3. The only way that you'll be able to pull this off, I think, is literally with the power of friendship.
Friendship.
The power of friendship.
Power of friendship. Yeah.
2d6 from each of you.
Oh. Okay.
I got doubles.
Yes. What number did you get?
I got 2s.
Oh, I did not roll 2s. I rolled a
But
1
that's
and a
okay.
6. But you got
It's 'cause-
doubles.
I got doubles.
Yes, you watch Jay as picking up what you're putting down. Nyx grabs a rock or two and starts throwing them to create some movement in the air, on the ground, some little sounds, some patters, and maybe noticing, learning what she's doing. You might do the same, and the two of you just scoop and try to create activity so that it looks like something is happening there where the holograms are, and that is what it takes. The two xenomorphs do lurch down and go to tackle the illusions, buying you guys one more extra round while they're distracted. I don't think the holo repeater or the chrono repeaters will respond, no, because they're just repeating the same image.
Yeah.
So you know for a fact they will definitely figure it out now, but you've bought yourself another round for running or ambushing or hiding or whatever else you want to do. I'll take it from Jay.
Oh my gosh. I think I'm trying to think, because like I'm from what she's seen of Nyx fighting these xenomorphs, it's there's not really a way to stealth and hide from them. So I don't know. I don't really want to attack them because there's 2 of them, but we're also going into a nest. I think I think that she is gonna shoot with negotiation.
All right, let's get a
Or
ranged
no,
attack. Oop.
Just kidding. Now that they've realized that it's a hologram, she's gonna use her arm gun and shoot in the complete opposite direction, because bullets can go much further. So she's going to shoot in an opposite direction so they hear a sound going much further away than where Nyx and Jay are hiding currently.
It's a gamble, but we'll see if it works. You're going to give me that ranged agility check. You're going to need to get more than 1, 2, 3 successes. I got 3, so
Okay.
you're going to roll your 66.
Amazing. Come on. I got 2. I got 2 successes.
You fire your arm cannon off, and immediately at the sound of the ignition, the actual, gunshot, which is originated right in the spot you're standing,
Yeah.
You watch both of their giant heads just turn and catch you. Nyx, it is your turn. We didn't think that one through all the way. But that's okay. That's okay, because you've got a plan, right? You've got a plan, right, Nyx? Nyx, you've got a plan! Nyx, what is your plan? Nyx!
Fire.
Let's see it. I'm gonna... Let me do my roll. This... I have 4 successes.
Okay. Okay. So, let's see what I get. Roll number 1. That dice did not land in the dice tray. Okay, so
Keeping in mind
that's 2
that-
successes.
I was gonna say, Julia's got a lot of hunt on her sheet, so I wouldn't say that the odds are not in her favor, because she's got 3 numbers that she can roll
got
to get a success.
4 successes total.
Excellent. So, you step back behind Nyx one more time, Jay, and more fire is blaring out. It's true. Nyx meant it when you heard her say earlier, like, fire is the only way to really fight them, because she keeps falling back on fire, and it keeps working. I'll just line a little line of fire there, and the 2 of them are immediately hit. I'll give them both a wound. Is there anything else you wanted to do from that position, Nyx, now that you've sort of distracted them?
Walk further, deeper, towards where Void is.
Excellent. So you start walking backwards. It would have been this way. You start walking backwards, keeping the flamethrower pointed at them to the best of your ability. And it is their turn. I'll get rid of our spares. I'm going to have them, since this is unfortunately not great for aliens, there's a very wide open space. They're going to flank you, just sort of shoot off perpendicularly, so that they can come around wide, try to outflank the fire as you're spinning it and trying to track them. I'll have one of them get to you first, Nyx. I'll have the other one, it will probably be up and on the wall. They'll have scattered in 2 different directions. Yeah, we'll keep him on the wall for now. And Nyx, you are almost about to get swiped at. Unless you can roll 1, 2, 3, 4 successes on a melee-based check.
I don't have melee, so...
So your options, you got 2 options. You can use your proc, which is your 1 time per game auto success, or you can use your power of friendship.
Power of friendship?
That works.
Okay.
I got a 1 and a 2.
I got a 1 and a 6!
All right, we
you
matched
can
ones.
do
We
1s and
matched ones.
6s. Wow.
Oh, shit!
Excellent. So that is a success. So Julia, you do not take hit. It is coming for you, and then from behind you, you can feel Jay pulling you backwards. And you get the flamethrower right in front of yourself, which creates a nice wall pushing the monster back. As you 2 continue to fall backwards, deeper and deeper into the cavern. It looks like you guys are probably less than 30 feet from the source of the voidal signature. If you're curious, you're heading backwards and into this sort of long tunnel-like shape. These 2 are not giving up their hunt, though, so I will have Jay back to you as the 2 of you are falling back. You're not out of the woods. You're not safe remotely. What do you do?
Well, I'm gonna do negotiation. I'm gonna use negotiation.
Yeah. Give me an attack. This will be on the one that's kind of on the wall behind you. You'll need 1 success or more.
Okay. I got an immediate success. Do you want me to roll the rest of them?
No, you're good. So the wall one has taken 2 wounds so far. The other one has only taken 1 wound. And we'll jump to Nyx again. Unless you had anything else, Jay?
Um, not really. None of my
All right.
our enemies were capitalism, so
You know, weirdly enough, in the Aliens franchise, the enemy is also sometimes capitalism. Julia,
Oh.
what do you do?
I will shoot them again with my flamethrower.
All right, they start closing in again. You take another shot. I'll tell you what you got to beat. 1, 2, 3 successes this time. So if you can get
I can
3
do
hunts,
that.
I was gonna say you got it's. We'll see.
That's 1. I got 3.
Okay, just barely making it.
I couldn't tell how many pips this was. I had to count.
You gotta stop
Like, is
using
that
those
4 or
weird
is that
dice.
5?
You got too many weird dice, Julia.
I know. I'm sorry.
If you didn't know, Cecilia, Julia owns like the most dice of anyone I know. All
That's amazing.
sorts of crazy. Julia, have you ever gone to a convention and spent less than $200 on dice?
Let's not talk about that.
All right, so falling back into the cave, into the tunnel. As Nyx keeps, what's really nice about the tunnel is that the flamethrower can form a nice sort of tight seal as long as Nyx can keep it up. And from behind the two of you, you're looking ahead, Jay, looking at the sensor, and you can see that there is this tiny little baby alien-looking creature that is squirming along the inside rim of the wall where the floor and the wall meet. Like it's trying to stay out of sight. Your detector doesn't lie. That seems to be the pinpointed source of voidal energy in all of this chaos. Just sneaking in under the surface, almost unseen, if it weren't for the two of you. What do you do?
Great. She's gonna try and pick that thing up, and just try and connect with the void and talk with
Give
it.
me an occult check. You can make this one easy because we already know you've got the voidal connection.
Okay, awesome. I got a success, but let's see how. No, just got 1 success. Oh, I guess it's not combat. I'm confused now.
You think you can stop me now?
Do you think that you're going to survive very long in this life force?
You don't know the power that these creatures possess.
When they get bigger, yes. But as the small, tiny, little creature you are, not so much right now.
Nice try.
You think back to something you remember Nyx teaching you about the xenomorphs earlier. And you notice that this little squirmy guy actually seems to have like a wider than eggplant shaped head. Sort of reminiscent to the webbing in the shape that you saw on the thing that had attacked your daughter. And you think that this is probably like a queen burster. And then you think about the connections that the queens seem to have. And it's almost like there's just a penny drops. Like everything in the cave goes silent at once. Even the two aliens that are about to attack you. Nothing. And then you just hear them all at once. And you hear the thunder of dozens of alien footprints coming your way. They're all coming. They're all taking the call of the queen here. You don't know if it's pheromonal, if it's psionic, however it's able to reach out, or if it's just a voidal power. But you can tell in this moment, right now, the void has made a call, and the aliens have answered the call of the void.
Awesome. I'd like to use my proc.
Yeah, okay, I'll give it away. This is when I take, here's your story reins and hand it over to Cecilia. You do something, you're going to do something, and whatever you do right here, it is going to succeed. It is your proc. What do you do?
Awesome. So my proc is Hacker Sounds We're In. So I think that she...
Hacker Sounds We're In.
Yes. I was hoping to use this on my daughter, but it seems like we need it right now. So I think that she remembers the kind of power and strength and the draw of the void and like all that it contains, and she uses that and tries to like put her hand and puts it through the chest burster, and she says, "How strong are you now?" and tries to suck up the void back into her through her like cybernetic.
Just chest burst a chest burster?
Yeah.
Is that even legal?
I don't know. She's metal.
Oh my god. I have to wonder if in all of the decades of alien media, if anyone has ever tried to chest burst a chest burster. That is the craziest idea I've ever heard in my life, and I'm here for it. In doing so, I'll give us our awesome storytelling music here. In doing so, you suck the void's energies out of it to absorb it once again into yourself, the same way that you did many, many years ago, to take on the onus, the pressures. But it comes with something else. In absorbing the life force and the energies of the void here, you can also feel yourself taking reign of that hive mind. You can feel yourself connected briefly to all of the xenomorphs. You can detect where they are. You can detect how many. There's too many. So many. But it feels like they're at your beck and call, at least while you can control it, while you can contain, while you're putting the firewalls back up, trying to get into position. And in this moment, in this window, you have control. What do you do? From behind you, I'll say this much. Before you can take control, I will have Nyx make another attack on the xenomorphs, because these guys were the closest, so when he made the call, they would have probably already been in the air gunning for you. Nyx, what do you, can you stop them? Can you push them back is the question. What do you got?
I can shoot them depending on how many things they roll.
Nice. That's a good question. Let's see. So, tried and true, seeing them jump through the air, through the smoke, they take on a sort of undying loyalty to the power, and they even jump through fire, which is they hate fire, trying to get specifically to Jay. And in the process of doing so, they do get 4 successes.
Oh, that's fine. I got this.
And Nyx will do
this.
her hardest to try to stop them from getting to you.
Okay, that's 2 successes plus. I got 5 successes.
Woo! Okay.
gosh.
There you go.
This is what happens when you stack traits. This is not what I did.
There's different game styles.
That's amazing.
You also saw that Julia has no might, so just basically failed any attempts to push back against the aliens.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
So, with 5 successes, the flames burst forward. And you hear the yelping of them as they fall and crash to the ground at your feet, skidding, sliding across the cave floor and landing at your feet. which does buy you the window of time you need. When you look over, you're following them with your flamethrower, Nyx, and you shut it off right at the last second so that you don't accidentally fry Jay. But you look up over the bodies of the aliens, and Jay has taken on a very different look. And also, she's shoved her hand through a chest burster, which is the craziest thing. You're like, what? What do you do, Nyx? What do you do, Jay?
Well, just to describe kind of what you would be seeing now, because that hole in her chest was never healed. So this is something that happened kind of in the Space Donuts as well, where there's like a separation there's room to fill for like the void. The void kind of fills that space so that you just see this endless darkness. What was seen in her eyes earlier, just remnants of the void, now you can see it's like floating in between her chest. It's just voidal energy right there. And her eyes are back like, it's like a starry night. It's like when you see the Hubble telescope, what you can see for the stars kind of a thing. So it's pinpricks of light, but mostly just vast darkness in her eyes. And she also has a chest burster on her hand. So that's fun. But I have control. What to do?
Probably go back to your daughter.
I have control of the xenomorphs. Quick.
I can make a bonfire and you can just make them all walk in.
That sounds great. And yeah, we could do that.
Great.
All right.
So James, I drag up all of the corpses that we have and I make a giant bonfire.
More fire. All right. Nyx starts a little fire, and you try to pull all of the xenomorphs in to the area so you can boil them, bake them alive. If you're curious, Cecilia, the reason why fire is so important is like because they're bug-like, they just basically boil from the inside out. Like their skin is so strong that the heat can't escape. However, this is proving to be more difficult than you thought. Not only is the void obviously trying to push back against this, but this is a power that is not natural to you or to any humanoid. So this will be an occult check to take control of the aliens. This will be a hard occult check.
Okay.
You want to do a buddy roll?
Yes. Yeah, let's do that.
So the two of you, Julia basically, piloting how to control them, their inhibitions, the things they feel, how to correctly get them to crawl and jump and run. And then Jay just sending the energies. What do we got?
I did not get doubles.
I got 2 1s.
Great.
Which normally would be terrible.
Nicely done. So, with the power of friendship, the two of you are able to get all of the aliens that are present in the hive right now. They all start running and crawling and jumping and hissing. And they all start throwing themselves onto the fire like the mindless servants they are.
I do not know how long this will last, so I think we should try and get out of here.
Yeah,
Just in case.
that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
The two of you fight back and forth, just trying to push them off towards the fire, retain control, running away, pushing them off. There's a lot of give and take in the process, but the group of you are able to make it back to the station. And take us back to the station real fast. When we're back, I'm not going to have us roll any stealth checks or anything because, they're all being told to just run out and go set fire to themselves, which is the craziest most metal way I've ever heard an alien be killed is mind control. You know, they never do that in the movies. They never do mind control. Why didn't they think about that?
Yeah. They just gotta slam their hand through a chest burster and just chest burst it.
That's
Come on,
the secret.
simple.
Nobody ever tried it. Nobody ever became... Yeah. I think maybe in one of the Predator movies, actually, there's something where there's a queen. Anyway.
It's AVP1.
Yeah. So, I'll run us back to the med bay, because I assume that's where what we're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And, the two of you run back in. You know, we've only been stalking around for about an hour. So we're not at the precipice. Time's not run out quite so much. But your daughter, Rose, is clearly looking worse for wear. As the two of you stumble back into the room. What do you do?
Can I have the knife?
Sure. She'll hand you one of the knives she has.
I think she's gonna go up and try and communicate with I don't know if they can communicate when they haven't been bursted yet.
There is certainly a complication that arises in that the power that you have taken control of, the Queen Burster that the Void had linked and was trying to control the Hive with, you know, that was a Queen Burster, and this inside your daughter is another Queen Burster. And they are almost like rival colonies, so to say. So when you try to just simply echo that energy and just maybe self-destruct the monster or have it crawl out or do something, you get way too much pushback. You are not linked to this other baby the way you were linked to the Hive.
Then
Hey, James.
Yes, Nyx.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So we tuned my motion tracker to the void / chest burster energy, right?
Correct.
And I know that based on, I assume Jay would communicate this, that she's having trouble because it feels like not part of that hive mind.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Can I try and tune the motion tracker to the frequency to the other chest burster to try and amplify the Void's ability to talk to it?
Ooh.
I don't see why not. I mean, this would probably be, unfortunately for you, this would probably be a cult, which because you're dealing with voidal energy. It's fine, but I do remember that because you've taken a wound in a cult, it will be harder, unless you use the power of friendship, in which case all bets are off.
My proc, if I'm allowed to.
The proc! Hey, nice. Okay, we got the other. I forgot. We got another proc on the board still.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then, okay.
My proc.
Narrative reigns, handing them over this way to Julia. Julia, just sort of describe for us what do you do with the two of you circled around Rose here?
Yeah. So in Nyx's history, she has done a lot of things with overcoming warring factions through forceful means, and so to her this is just another way of exerting her will, and by extension Jay's will, into this opposing force. So my proc is, there are no Geneva Conventions in space, war crimes don't matter, and I'm just going to essentially exert our will over the will of this creature.
You're going to commit Geneva Convention violations on the Void and the chest burster, the Queen Burster. Yeah,
absolutely.
No, okay. Yeah, that's in line with Nyx. All rules are off. Nyx doesn't play by the rules. When push comes to shove, Nyx will do anything it takes to get out of there. And so
I fine-tune the motion tracker to emit a frequency, because that's all the motion tracker does, basically.
Yeah.
It just picks up frequencies and tells you when things move. So
Exactly.
I retune it, and then I show it to Jay. I say, can you try and align yourself in the void with this frequency?
Yes.
And you do. It's not hard at all. Nick sort of guides you through matching it, and there's a rhythm and a pulse. Maybe the two of you together feeling the realignment, and then it clicks, and you almost like it's almost like somebody opens a door, and you can see and feel and hear and connect to that queen burster, and the sensations you immediately get before you can, stifle them out are just like fear and panic, the infantile rage of how dare another queen exert their will over me. Is this like a mother-daughter allegory now? How dare a queen exert their will over me? Do they not know I am a queen? No. But it connects, and you have power over the one inside of Rose. What do you do?
Wasn't sure if we were going to get this far. We have taken over your colony, and multitudes of your brethren are currently flaying themselves alive. You have a chance to exit this being and survive. Do you want to have that chance to survive? If you exit this being willingly, you will have a chance.
And there's a burp, and the sound, a gurgle. And Rose's upper body sort of shudders and shakes. And a crunch that doesn't sound very good, alarming at first. But then silence, and your connection, from what you can tell, the creature inside has died. It's no longer reading. It's no longer connecting. It still sits inside of Rose's cavity. The best you can bet, and with Nyx's consultation, is that it seems like it tried to take you up on your offer. But these things are not built to escape any other way. So as it tried to exit peacefully, you get the sense that something must have happened. Something didn't work right. Something cracked or shattered or twisted, and then just went numb on the inside. But
Well,
vital signs spike and start to increase.
I just want to let you know, Nyx, I used my wording very carefully. It would have had a chance, but not much of one.
No.
Thank you for all you have taught me, and as much as it is something that I did not necessarily want to know, it adds to the knowledge of the universe, for good or for ill.
Oh, she'll reach into her pack and hand you the flower back.
And she'll give you negotiation back. Yeah, she'll give you negotiation back. Thank you. I found it to be very helpful in negotiation tactics with these creatures.
Yeah, isn't it? Do you guys need a lift anywhere?
We have our ship just off the asteroid. And
Oh, that was yours that was orbiting?
yes.
Okay. All right. Well, if you ever need any more expertise or anything, you just contact the military. They'll reach me.
The space military.
Yeah, literally, it's like the United Marine System Corps or something like that. Literally just space military.
I will contact them. And Lance Vicarian Corporal Nix, I really appreciate what you are doing for this universe.
Thank you. I'm glad someone does.
And as Jay and Nix help hoist Rose up and out, slap a rebreather on her, because I'm sure she probably does need air. You guys can have a moment. I'm sure Nix can fly you back up to your station in orbit. Say your goodbyes, stand at the threshold, and see each other as the two ships begin to part, once again drifting into the astral sea of space.
I think you got a message, Nix, in your ship. We never got to talk about it, but your friend Matilda's pictures are very good.
You know what? On that note, we are gonna go ahead and take it home. Thank you so much, players. Thank you so much, Cecilia. Thank you, Julia, for joining us on this wild and wacky adventure. A little bit of Magitech, a little bit of aliens. Great.
Just if you feel like you have a void inside of you, there's friends that can talk to you about that.
That's right. And there's a queen inside all of us.
And there's a queen inside all of us.
And you can commit war crimes in space.
Yeah. Most important.
But that's it for tonight. So we are going to do our little Just the Q of Us sign off that we tend to do here, which is a catchphrase that we all say together in perfect unison, and it works perfectly, flawlessly every time. It never gets screwed up. So the catchphrase, if you're unaware, is simple. It is, keep rolling the dice. Yep. Cecilia, are you ready? Are you ready? Is this your first keep rolling the dice, Cecilia?
I think I did it for Plant Girls.
For Plant Girls, that checks out. Yeah. So we're all aware here of how it goes. I'll count us out. We'll give them the best attempt we can, and then we'll see you guys around online. So in 3, 2, 1. Keep rolling the dice. Hey, yeah, that's not bad.